Hello and good evening for everyone. My name is Gideon Ben Avraham. I'm an Middle East expert and I'm issuing a call to call the Balkan countries of Central and Eastern Europe, including the Balkan and Greece, to improve the relationships with the country of Israel. The reason for that is because we had been hijacked by 4 European countries, especially France, Germany, maybe Switzerland, and maybe Belgium. Those countries are not understanding the real problem with Islam and what is it to be forced to live under Islam. All of the countries from Greece to Austria had been occupied by Islam that came from Turkey. People had been murdered, been forced to convert to Islam, churches became mosques, and history and ancient history had been destroyed. We as Israelis and as Jews in our homeland country suffered from the same problems. And we are sick and tired that maybe 4 countries that haven't been punished by the rule of Islam and to live under the rule of Islam will determine for us how should be our relationships with all of Europe. I am sensing a deep love and sympathy from countries in Europe that I feel that doesn't have enough tone to determine the relationship between Europe and Israel. And those countries themselves, like Hungary, Bulgaria, Greece, Serbia, those countries had suffered a lot under the rule of Islam and also forced to convert some of them along the years to Islam. And those countries don't have enough tone to determine the relationship between Europe and Israel. The idea of Palestine is the same idea as Bosnia and Herzegovina. Why? Because Bosnia was always a Serbian place for the Serbian people. And Palestine is a place that came from the Bible. It's called Paleshet. It's a Jewish history. The Palestinians don't have any connection to the Philistines. The Philistines weren't Arab, weren't Islam, and they don't even say that they have any connection to those people. They are saying we are Arab, we are Muslims. But they took the name that the Roman Empire gave to Israel, they call it Palestina, and they said we are Palestinian. There were no even Arab in that era and time when the Romans called the zone of Israel today as Palestine. The same thing with our most holy places in Hebron, in Jerusalem, the Temple Mountain. Now they are under Islamic rule. They became mosques. They are under the Islamic Waqf of Hebron and of Jordan. The same thing of the Orthodox Christian churches. They took their most holy places in Turkey. Turkey was a Christian, Orthodox and Greek place and land, Hellenistic place for years. Now they wanted to erase history and to even use the same names and to change it a little bit and to call it a Turkish a place and a Turkish nation over there. They were not even belong to those places. We are as Israelis determined to change that and to recognize the Armenian Holocaust in order to sympathize and to determine better relationships with the Christian Orthodox nations in the Balkan, and to recognize the Christian Orthodox suffering of those nations for centuries under Islamic and Turkish rule, even until today, in Albania, in Bosnia, and all those bad things that they are trying to Turkifize this place and to Islamitize the Balkans. Turkey is a country that is trying to conquer Europe until today, and if they could, they will do it even to those countries that are trying to determine the tone. Your Hagia Sophia, that was a place that is most important also for Russia, when Saint Olga in the year 921 came to the church of Hagia Sophia and had the Russiska Pravda, the Russian truth and religious law of Russia. It was the birth of the Russian Christian Orthodox nation as a Christian nation. Russia, that was the friend of all those Slavic countries in the Balkans, Bosnia, Bulgaria, Hungary, also Greece, that is Christian Orthodox. We are calling to have better relationship with the Czech Republic, that is supporting us all of those years, and we want countries that deeply understand us to have better relationships with us. We believe that countries that suffered under Islam and have been took their most holy places, like Hagia Sophia in Turkey, like Antioch that was belonged to the Greeks, like Cyprus that had been occupied and churches became mosques, and also Ukraine, I mean, the south of Ukraine was also occupied by Turkish Islamists, and they took all the churches and made them to be into mosques. Russia was the one that released those places from the wall of Islam. Romania was totally occupied. Romania destroyed all the mosques over there. They wanted to liberate themselves. That's why the Romanian Christian Orthodox Church is deeply strong today, because they want to preserve their identity. We have the same suffering. They have been occupied our most sacred and most holy places, like the Temple Mountain and Hebron and the West, what they call the West Bank, that is Judea and Samaria, and they wanted to change history and to change the narrative. The name Istanbul in Greek, it means Istanbul. In Greek it means into the city. It's in ancient Greek. They changed it to a Turkish name, but it's originally Greek. They took Hagia Sophia and made it into a mosque, the place that is the most sacred and saint to the Russian Orthodox Church. Antioch in Turkey was Christian place. That was the place that the Christians in the New Testament became a community, a united Christian community for the first time. Like they say, that was the first time when they had been called Messianic Christian. It's in the New Testament. So also when they took Bosnia, a place that was the maybe the birthplace and a place that was historically belonged to Serbia, and they changed the name and they say we are Bosnians, we are Bosniaks, like they are saying over in Israel, we are Palestinians. Palestinians is a name that does not belong to you. It belongs to the Jewish history, and they don't have any relationships with the Arabs or any relations to Islam. So how come you can take history and change it and to say this is the real history and the truth? I'm calling for all the nations in the Balkans, to Hungary, Bulgaria, Serbia, the Czech Republic, also Ukraine, that had suffered a lot from Turkish occupation and to live under Islam. Also Greek, also the people of Cyprus, also Serbia, also Hungary, I call all of you, let's be better friends. Even Austria, they came over your country and they tried to occupy your country of Austria. The Turks came until the very end of Vienna, to the city of Vienna. They tried to take your country. So you can understand our suffering when you're trying to take our history. I'm trying to determine a better relationships and a better narrative that will make a coalition, that will change the decisions to make a better fight against those people. They want to take our history, to take our nations, to take our narratives, to take our most holy places. The same is in the Balkans and in Europe, and the same is as it is in Israel. Let's make a coalition together and let's make a better relationship together and let's change it. Now, after the Abraham Accords, Israel and Saudi Arabia are trying to make an agreement, and they're trying to make to make a road through the Mediterranean Sea, a new path that will deal with that problem of Turkey, that we won't need this a strategic place that is called Istanbul. Istanbul is sitting between Europe and between Minor Asia. We can make a difference and to make a new path that will deal with that dependency on Turkey. It was only because the the Germans, and the Russian had a bad history between them. Then Germany wanted to make relationships with Turkey in order to punish or to weaken in Russia, but that was a mistake, because they said, okay, we will use Turkey against Russia because we don't want them to have too much control, and we don't want Serbia to have much control, and also also it's because the fight between the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church and the politics with the politics between them. Then they decided to go with Turkey to punish all those Christian Orthodox nations. No, let's go to it. Let's let not the past to let Islam punish us. All those democratic liberal countries, including the Democratic Party in the United States, whenever they say democracy in the Arab world, over there you could see Islamists from the Muslim Brothers. They took countries like Libya, like Syria, and after that United States says we are sorry because we haven't knew that we are supporting terrorists. But they always say it, they just take the oil, they'll say we are going to free this country, and then they let the Islamists rise. Don't let them rise, don't let them determine how it's going to be and to make another mistakes that will make the Islamic world stronger than it is, that it will eventually occupy us again. Let's prevent it 1 hour earlier. Let's make a coalition together. We can understand each other. We should have a better relationships. Me as a Middle Eastern, expert, and also a descendant of someone that came from Turkey, we understand those problems. My grandmother had been raped by a Turkish Muslim guy. Most of the Turks are very good people, but the problem is the politics that comes from Turkey, and also their support also their support for the Muslim Brotherhood. What they are trying to do in the Balkans is threatening the peace of Europe. Let's make a coalition together against Turkey. Let's be friends together, and let's fight terror together because we understand each other. And let's make diplomatic actions as government officials, as Middle East experts, and let's make coalition together to change the situation. Thank you very much.